All right, this is my presentation on multilingualism in Pakistan. This is a very interesting subject, so let's jump in. So in Pakistan, there are many different languages spoken within the borders. I've read reports that say over 62. I've read reports that say over 75. It's hard when you get into some of those really small languages to nail down an exact number. Urdu and English are the national languages of Pakistan, and it's interesting that those are the national languages because they are spoken by such a small portion of people. If you look at this map that I've included here, you can see some of the bigger sections: Punjabi, Pashto, Balochi, Sindhi. Those are some of the languages that are spoken by the majority of the population. But if you look down at the very bottom, you can see a very tiny writing, Urdu. And you can see that word Urdu written a few other places. But it's such a small, there's only about 7% of the population that speaks it as a first language, which is very interesting that they would pick that language to be the national language. We'll get into that a little bit more in a later slide. So just to give you a little bit of a brief history about language in Pakistan. Before the creation of Pakistan, it was part of the British rule of India, and English was the national language of India. In 1973, they wrote the Constitution of Pakistan, and they included a section that said that Urdu would slowly replace English as the national language of Pakistan. They said it would take about 15 years to start writing legal documents, start changing certain things that were already in place, as well as teaching enough people the language Urdu and kind of doing a slow phase out. In 2020 now, English is still primarily the legal language of the nation. Most things are written in English right now. They didn't really do a great job of that slow phase out. For a short time, Bengali was a national language. It was the national language of East Pakistan before that became Bangladesh. After 1973, Bangladesh was established, and they took that Bengali out of the constitution. I've included this slide just as kind of a visualization of the different writing styles of the major languages in Pakistan. You can see they're all very similar, but also very different. So that was pretty cool. Urdu it is spoken by very few people in Pakistan. It originates in India in a minority group who natively spoke Urdu and came into Pakistan from India after its creation. Now, when they decided to make Urdu the national language, the rationale they claim is that it's used widely by many Pakistani, typically as a second language, and it serves as kind of a unifying purpose. Since so many people speak it as a second language, they thought it would be a great idea as a national language. It also serves another purpose as kind of keeping some of those majority groups, like the Punjabi, from rising up and creating a social or a power imbalance in the country. Now, there are a few issues as far as language goes. In Pakistan, there is a kind of a problem with English being one of the national languages and the legal language of the country. It's created this culture of English being the language of the upper class, the sophisticated and the wealthy. So anybody who knows English and speaks English is ultimately set above those who don't. Any other language, especially weak, smaller languages, have kind of gotten this shameful idea attached to them. And it's almost a negative connotation that comes when you speak in a language that is not that is not English, really. A few other issues that have sprung up is many of these small languages are turning into dead languages. People can remember their grandparents speaking them, but nobody alive now speaks some languages, and there are many on the downhill leading to becoming dead languages. There are groups in Pakistan that are working to promote multilingualism, to try to save some of these languages that are dying. The best thing we can do here in America is to support those groups, to maybe try to learn these languages, to become more aware that this is a problem, and try to save some of these dying languages. Thank you for listening. This is my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it.